Straight ahead on CCX News, how Brooklyn Park is taking a proactive approach to apartment issues. Then,
coming up, we'll go behind the scenes here at Elm Creek, where the Three Rivers Park District has a cutting-edge idea about how to reduce their carbon footprint.
And the fun is just getting started at Whiz Bang Days. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Park will take an important step next week to help improve the quality of life for residents who live in apartments.
The city officials will discuss ways to update the Apartment Action Plan. It's a set of policies and procedures for monitoring, maintaining, and designing the city's apartment buildings. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, city staff members created the original Apartment Action Plan back in 2010 as a way to make sure that city policies met the needs of the apartment residents. Now it's time for an update.
We want to be sure that our rental housing is safe, suitable rental housing that's dignified, and that also our residents feel engaged within their community and with the city.
City officials say there are 35 apartment communities comprised of 180 buildings in Brooklyn Park. Since the original action plan was drafted in 2010, the city has seen a reduction in overall crime in the apartment communities, as well as apartment rehabilitation. Monday night, city staff members will meet with the city council along with community leaders to help create an atmosphere where community building can happen within the different apartment complexes.
As part of updating the housing chapter for the comprehensive plan, it's important that we reach all of our community groups, and tenants and residents in our rental housing are an important part of the community, and we need to make sure that their voice is reflected in our policies and documents.
After city staff meets with the council next week, they'll spend the next 2 months seeking feedback from tenants before finalizing the Apartment Action Plan. Mike?
All right, Delane, thank you. Plymouth police are looking for a man who held up a Burger King restaurant as it was opening for business earlier this week. Police say it happened Monday morning in the 10,000 block of Rockford Road. A man with a gun wearing a black mask walked in shortly after 5 a.m. and told an employee to fill a bag with money from the safe. It's the second similar robbery there this year. Police released this photo of the getaway car. It's a late model Buick with no license plates. If you recognize the car, please call Plymouth Police.
If you use the Ridgedale Library in Minnetonka, you will have to find an alternative after this weekend. The Ridgedale Library is closing Sunday afternoon for at least a year while extensive renovations are made. The county says the interior space hasn't been updated since 1999, and many of the major building systems date back to the building's original construction in 1981. The $21 million project should be finished by next summer.
When the new Hope City swimming pool closes for the summer on August 20th, it could be the last splash for the 52-year-old pool. The new Hope City Council is in the process of deciding whether to build a new city hall and police station on the current site of the pool. If that happens, a new outdoor pool and park improvement project would be built on the site where the current city hall now sits. But it could be a couple of years before the new pool would be finished.
The preliminary plan is that they start construction here for the new City Hall and Police Department this fall. And there would be no pool season 2018 and 2019, and the new pool would be open in 2020.
The existing pool was built back in 1965. The Three Rivers Park District is always looking for ways to reduce garbage.
And now they're using recycled plastic that Minnesota farmers used to throw away. Here's reporter Eric Nelson.
These bags are one of the best ways to complete the loop in recycling.
Reduce, recycle, reuse. That's the MO of the Three Rivers Park District.
These bags are made from waste from the farmers, from their plastic wrap on their silage, and temporary irrigation systems that they can only use for 1 year.
Three Rivers now buys trash bags made of recycled plastic from Minnesota farms.
These bags are actually made from plastic that has formerly just gone to landfills or even worse, been burned.
This farm to park journey reduces Three Rivers' carbon footprint. Last year, Three Rivers collected over 500 tons of trash. and uses 33,000 bags annually.
Well, our mission is being environmental stewards, and everything we do is kind of revolves around the natural resources. We repurpose a lot of things depending on what we're doing, what we're fabricating, what we're making. We try to reuse things rather than throw things away.
In the past, farmers did not have many choices for getting rid of their plastic garbage.
Because there just weren't many options.
But that changed in 2016.
And then that material is then processed into these little resin pellets.
When the Revolution Plastic Company began collecting plastic from Minnesota farms and recycling it into garbage bags.
Its former life, not very long ago, was actually as part of this material holding cattle fodder. It's a great circle.
And I hope it catches on, and I'm sure it will, as long as the price stays competitive.
Along with Three Rivers, other entities now using these recycled bags include Anoka County and even the NFL's Atlanta Falcons.
So it's providing a market for this material instead of a landfill or waste to energy or burning situation.
In Maple Grove, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Still ahead, a conversation with the outgoing director of Avenues for Homeless Youth.
Plus, it's play ball at Robbinsdale's Whiz Bang Days Youth Baseball Tournament.
But a terrific summer weekend ahead, sunny and highs in the mid-80s. Your AccuWeather forecast is coming up next. Welcome back. The executive director of Avenues for Homeless Youth has announced that she will be leaving that job after 9 years. Mike sat down with Deb Loon recently to talk about what's been accomplished and what's ahead.
I'm with Deb Loon, the executive director of Avenues for Homeless Youth, and she has been in the job for 9 years, but will be leaving by early
Sometime
fall.
This fall, yes.
So how does a temporary job become a job that you're in for 9 years?
Yeah, I love to say I parlayed a 9-month interim gig into over 9 years. It happened quite naturally. It was easy to get hooked on the work. The young people that we support are extraordinary, and frankly, the staff and the volunteers that come to this work are also extraordinary. So it happened very easily.
I think one of the major accomplishments has to be building the Brooklyn Park shelter, and that opened 2 years ago. How have things been going there? Is it full? Has it made a dent in the problem?
Brooklyn Avenues was a beautiful experience for me. One of my most rewarding professional experiences, actually. And yes, it's full every night, 12 beds. It's going extremely well. We, of course, would like to be out of business, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. But the young people are doing amazingly well at Brooklyn Avenues.
Now, you didn't have to convince anybody in the suburbs that there was a problem in the suburbs. I understand they actually came to you.
Well, certainly up here, that's the case. The northwestern suburbs, and starting with Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, really recognize the issue of youth homelessness and, as you'll recall, sex trafficking and the intersection of those two things. And the community up here invited us in, and we were really honored and privileged to be part of this.
How would you describe what the problem is right now? How many kids are out there, maybe couch hopping or whatnot?
Yeah, well, Wilder Research does a triennial survey, and their latest estimate is 6,000 homeless youth every night in the state of Minnesota. So the problem isn't getting smaller, sadly, I'm sorry to say, but continues forward. Now, fortunately, places like Brooklyn Avenues are being created, and other programs. We and all of our partners are working very, very hard to make sure young people have the support they need.
One of the things is a suburban host program.
Yep.
Tell us how that works.
The Suburban Host Home Program is a program we actually started in 2012. And we've had some families up here and individuals who've hosted youth. It's really much like an exchange student kind of model. We ask individuals and families that have a little extra space in their home and a willingness to share their space to house homeless youth for a period of time. The average length of stay is actually a year. It can make the difference for a young person to allow them to stay in their home community, continue going to school, stay connected with people who are important to them, and then be able to move forward.
And Deborah Loon says in the future, Avenues will continue to grow as long as they continue to have support. And if you're interested in becoming a suburban host family, you can go to their website. That's avenuesforyouth.com. Well, coming up later, we are going to Whiz Bang Days for an ice cream social and a lot of art.
But first, Osseo and Maple Grove go head-to-head in a pitcher's duel in American Legion baseball. John Jacobson has the highlights coming up next.
Welcome to CCX Sports. I'm John Jacobson. No matter the sport, Osseo versus Maple Grove is always a good rivalry. The teams met up in North Hennepin League American Legion Baseball. John Bezdacek gets the start for Osseo. He's dialed in from the start. Strikeout here ends the second inning. Maple Grove starter Bubba Horton is in and out of jams all game, but manages a pitch out of most of them. The K here retires Osseo in the third. To the top of the fifth, still scoreless. Osseo with 2 on, 2 out. Jake Contreras powers this ball to deep left field, bringing home Tyler Lindman and Adam Lanners for a 2-0 Osseo lead. John Bezdacek takes care of the rest. He goes the distance for the shutout. 3-0 Osseo is the final. Both Osseo and Maple Grove are playing in the huge Gopher Classic Legion tournament, which started Friday. The 96-team tourney features clubs from 9 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Hopkins, one of the teams in the tournament, they faced Omaha Burke, post 1 out of Nebraska. Friday morning, Omaha's Noah Olson driving a ball to the gap in right center field. This one goes for extra bases. Jabari Mitchell and Lawrence Jackson both score as Omaha builds an early lead. Next up, Hunter Waugh. He delivers a base hit to center field. Olson scores as Omaha scores 3 runs in the first and 4 runs in the second to lead 7-0 after an inning and a half. Omaha is able to keep the Flyers off the scoreboard too. Zach Munson with a strikeout here. He's one of 3 pitchers who combined to limit Hopkins to just 5 hits. Fourth inning, Connor McElderry singles to left field. And this hit brings home Waugh and Jack Lort. Omaha goes on to win 10-0 in 5 innings. Hopkins did beat Nisswa 4-0 today. Pool play continues through Sunday at all 16 of the sites in this tournament throughout the metro. Also, Maple Grove Legion will host Giant Valley Friday night at approximately 7 o'clock at Maple Grove High School. You can watch that game online through our live stream link at ccxmedia.org. Well, baseball is a big part of the Whiz Bang Day celebration in Robbinsdale. The Whiz Bang Classic Youth Tournament is underway Friday afternoon. Lakeview Terrace Park is one of the 2 main sites for the tournament, which has 2 age divisions and is hosted by the Armstrong Cooper Youth Baseball Association. It's grown to be a very popular event.
Well, it's our biggest one yet. We've got 20 teams coming in, mostly from around the metro area. 12 teams at the 19U age, which is basically high school and early college, and then another 8 teams at the 14-15 age. And we could have had another 5 or 6 easily. We could have been almost 30 teams this year.
This is footage from last year's tournament. Pool play runs Friday and Saturday with championship games on Sunday. There's also a special game Saturday evening at one of the tournament sites, Lee Park, involving the Minnesota Twins.
The Minnesota Twins are going to come in. They're going to do what they call a Twins takeover. So they're going to bring the organist, they're going to bring the PA announcer, they're going to have Twins concessions, and this is going to be the 6 o'clock game Saturday night at Lee Park.
The 14-15U championship is Sunday at 3:45 at Lee Park. The 19U final is at 3:45 Sunday at Lakeview Terrace. As we showed you a couple of weeks ago on CCX News, Plymouth Ice Center is undergoing a facelift this summer. The main rink at the Ice Center, Rink A, is being converted from an Olympic-size rink to the smaller NHL or standard-size ice sheet. The rink is home to the Wayzata high school teams. We asked some of the Wayzata boys in that program what they think of the change.
Yeah, it's going to make the rink smaller, obviously. It's going to allow us to play a better brand of hockey, or Trojan brand of hockey, short, fast, strong, physical.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It should create a lot more board battles and stuff like that, make the game feel a lot more physical, which is the kind of hockey we like to play here in Wayzata.
Personally, and for our coaching staff, we're really excited for the small sheet. It's going to make it much faster, much more physical. The big sheet was definitely a trend in the 90s and, puck possession, but everybody can skate now. Everybody's fast. Everyone's, almost playing hockey year round. So getting on the small sheet, it's going to make it, a much more entertaining game.
The work on Rink A is expected to be completed in time for the start of hockey this fall. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, we will check out the work of some remarkably talented artists at the Whiz Bang Days in Robbinsdale.
We'll be right back.
Musicians of the Barbary Coast Dixieland Show Band helped kick things off in Robbinsdale for Whiz Bang Days, which runs through Sunday. It was a hot start for the festival, but free ice cream sundaes helped cool things off at the party held at Connie Bakken Park on West Broadway Thursday evening. And if you would like to take a break from the sun during Whiz Bang Days, the Robin Gallery on 42nd Street is open with its latest show.
And Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
This is one of two members-only shows that we do in the course of the year.
It's the Robin Gallery's Whiz Bang Art Show, coinciding with Robbinsdale's Whiz Bang Days, which are in full swing throughout the weekend. Right now, there are 55 members in the Robin Gallery, and the high quality and diversity of the work displayed might surprise you.
We have earthenware pottery this time, we have calligraphy books, we have fiber art, collages, wool felting, photography, of course, and oil painting, acrylics, digital masters of photography, all kinds of really incredible talents.
And speaking of really incredible talents, I found the digital photography artwork of John Nemi to be fascinating.
So this one is a relatively new piece. It's done within the last 6 months. This piece probably took me about 25, 30 hours overall.
John takes an image that he shoots with the color qualities he wants to work with, then goes through a long process of massaging the image through countless digital manipulations to arrive at something entirely new.
It was probably a shot that I had taken at the Midway at the fair or at somewhere at the fair.
Although this is a members show and all the works that you'll see are done by members of the Robin Gallery, you don't have to be an artist to become a member and support the Robin Gallery.
You just have maybe a passion for the media and the creativity that people have and enjoy seeing the talent people have and what comes into this gallery.
The Whiz Bang Show is full of color, fun, and on display through July 29th. For Weekend Showcase from the Robin Gallery in Robbinsdale, Neil Persley, CCX News.
And of course, don't forget about the Whiz Bang Parade, 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. You can look for Jay Wilcox and Eric Nelson in the parade. And they ought to have some good weather, too.
They should have good weather. Give them away.
That's right. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us.
We will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.